Ladies and gentlemen, let's Gaming to the video. It has been confirmed by the president and CEO of AMD, Lisa Su, that there is indeed going to be an upcoming graphics card launch later on this quarter. That's very, very crucial. I don't think it's very difficult to assume what this potential GPU could be, and it means that the R9 390X could well be announced at Computex. When you consider the AMD's position in the market, they've done pretty well, to be honest, to not go way down the market. They have sunk quite considerably, but when you consider that the R9 290 series, or the 200 series, has been out for some time, and they're competing not only against the remnants of the 700 range from NVIDIA, but of course NVIDIA did release the Maxwell series, which has done rather well. AMD have done pretty decently to actually survive this long, but the real question is how much performance are they going to get out of the 390X, and exactly when will it be released? From what we do know from the leaks, rumors, and even little bits and bobs such as LinkedIn profiles, we can actually guess that the GPU is going to be, we're talking for the highest end, which is the Fiji XT, going to be featuring 4096 stream processors, either 4 or 8 gigabytes of HBM, which is going to be a staggering 640 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. It's going to be running at about 1000 megahertz, and that means a compute performance of over 8 teraflops, 8.2. That's a lot of teraflops. To put it into perspective, the Titan X puts out about 6.9, about 70 flops. So yes, it's faster. If you compare that to the R9 290X, which features 2816 stream processors, that puts about 5.6 T-flops. Now obviously T-flops aren't necessarily the only way you can measure graphics card performance. There are a bunch of other bits and bobs as well, but it gives you an indication of how much of a jump, how much of a leap it is from the previous GPU. So if it is the R9 390X, or whatever the hell it's going to be called, it could be called Mary Has a Little Lamb for all we know at this point, we can pretty much guess that it's going to be very powerful. After all, you can't really release a product that's not faster than your rival several months later. It's just not good. What we do know is AMD did release or show off, but they didn't mention any specific details, a GPU back at GDC, and it was actually marketed as what was considered to be and called an ultra enthusiast Radeon card during GDC. Now the rumor has it it was one of the higher level Fiji cards, and the other rumor was that it will run multiple virtual reality demos at the show floor. Now the real key here is AMD are supposedly creating this GPU for future. In other words, it's not only for DirectX 12 and all of the other APIs and all of the feature set that you'd expect, but moreover they're creating it with the idea that, hey, you know what, virtual reality and ultra high resolutions are the way that PCs are going forward. Basically, I'm guessing some of this, as well as you can kind of look at their slides and their basic gist of how they're putting together their product range. They want APUs, so you know, pretty much any GPU/CPU amalgamation to be able to run lower resolution gaming without a problem, where you don't need a discrete CPU. Now I'm at GPU, so let's assume, for example, 1080p, medium to high settings. You're going to be able to do that on one of the APUs, at least that's the plan. But if you want the high resolution 4K gaming, or let's say, you know, virtual reality experience with all of the bells and whistles at the max, then they also of course have a solution to kind of tide you over as well. Now if and when that actually happens, it's a bit unknown. Now what we do know is from a Sysandra database entry, we did get those specifications, the ones that I read out earlier, you know, the 4096 stream processors and so on and so forth. But how accurate this stuff is remains to be seen. I'm personally hoping it's really accurate. What I'd like to see from an ideal point of view is for actually AMD to be on top for some time. The reason is because it's good for the market. Nvidia, to be totally honest, not even Nvidia, the whole GPU market recently hasn't really undergone a massive shake-up, and it's the same for CPUs as well. Even since Sandy Bridge was released, there hasn't been a substantial performance increase. Yes, of course, there have been additional CPU cores which are now become standard. You know, quad-core CPUs are pretty standard for the PC, for example, and there have been, of course, slight improvements on IPC and blah blah blah, but in reality, we're not getting massive performance leaps, which is kind of part and parcel because obviously we're heading towards more multi-core situations anyway, but just generally speaking, we want something a little bit better. I'm also hoping, of course, that AMD's CPU range, when it's finally released, rumour has it next year, that will also be a rather improved performance because, as I said, it's just really good for the market. What we don't want, of course, is a situation where you've not really got a choice or you can only go with one manufacturer. That just sucks for everyone. But the good news, going back to it and just clarifying one more time, well, I say clarifying, I was pretty clear, the GPU is coming very soon, this quarter, which obviously is not an exact release date, but it's a good thing. It's a very good thing in my opinion, and I for one really look forward to getting my hands on the bloody thing. I really look forward to getting my hands on it with a next generation game, and by next generation of course I mean DX12 or Vulkan, and actually seeing what the hell all of this stuff is going to be like. What's HBM going to do for PC gaming? What is DirectX 12 going to do for gaming? It's a really exciting time in the market. It really is. I'm going to quickly put this into the video. If you only want to know the news, you can kind of stop now. Some people have been asking me where the hell I've been. Mostly planning, to be totally honest. There's a show that we're going to start recording. I've mentioned this a couple of times now, but just in case you've not watched that video or checked out the Facebook posts, we're going to be changing the format on some stuff on RGT. So I've been really quiet, A, because of work, and B, because of this planning and kind of scheming in the background. With any luck at all, we're going to be utilising a professional studio for green screen and stuff over the next few days. So you're going to be seeing Amy and I on screen, especially me for some... I was about to actually say what it's for, actually. I can't say at the moment because it's a little under wraps. Not for any other reason, not because it's like super duper secret, but just because I want to surprise everyone when it's there, and I think it'll be pretty cool. It'll be a very different, much more visual, much more interactive version of the show, and I think it'll be pretty awesome. Well, at least I'm hoping it's awesome. But for now, I'm going to leave you all to it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Do let me know in the comments if there's something you're hoping for the next generation graphics cards. Like what type of standard, what type of performance increases you would personally like to see. But for now, I'll leave you to it. Take care. Bye for now.